Today we're going to be talking about harassment in the workplace. My theme would be familiarity breeds harassment complaints, whether it's sexual harassment, age-based harassment, racial harassment, or harassment on any other basis. It's because people feel too comfortable with each other in the workplace. It's going to be the rare situation in which a supervisor tries to grab the breast of a new employee who he's never talked to before, or a co-employee is going to tell a racial joke to someone he's not interacted with before. So those professional lines need to stay intact, and it becomes even more difficult when you add social media to the mix, because whether it's Facebook, Instagram, tweeting, whatever the media is, employees feel more comfortable with each other because they're communicating generally through the media, through these forms of media, about things that are unrelated to the workplace. And so it's very important for us to go beyond having a written complaint procedure to deal with harassment. It's important to have that, and certainly we want to have a mechanism where employees can effectively raise complaints. But beyond that, it's important to train our supervisors and our employees in exactly what we're looking for with respect to the employment relationship, beginning with training supervisors to make sure that they do keep the distance with their subordinates as they interact with them, to make sure that they understand that there is a fine line between caring for an employee in a professional environment and going too far and getting tied up into the employee's personal lives. It isn't a bad idea, as you're training these supervisors on this approach, to make sure that they understand that social media is going to be a problem. We don't want you to engage in those communications with employees. To tell the supervisor that we don't want you on Facebook with subordinates is a smart move, because A, it keeps them on a professional level, and B, when an employee asks them for perhaps to be a friend on Facebook, they can say, I can't do that because it's against company policy. To supplement that, having a non-fraternization policy which tells supervisors they're not to have even consensual romantic or sexual relationships with employees. A personal conduct policy which says there are things you can do outside the workplace that are going to impact the employment relationship in a way that's going to cause us problems, and if we're caused problems, that's going to be a reason for disciplining the supervisor. And in this training, make sure that there isn't going to be a freedom to joke with employees inappropriately, to send text messages that shouldn't be sent, that are of a private nature, to communicate via email. What may be very funny in terms of an email or a joke that a supervisor may tell is never funny when you see it in the black and white of a federal complaint. Beyond that, we want to make sure that our employees are trained and they feel comfortable in how to handle the same kinds of situations, creating that same wall of professionalism. You want the employees to know that they are the first line of defense. Give them a voice, make them feel comfortable that the first thing they need to say is that's inappropriate to whoever the supervisor is or co-employee who breaches the line. To say, I don't want to join you for drinks after work tonight. To be comfortable in saying that makes me uncomfortable is important for the employees to be able to do. They also need to be able to come to you with the first signs of a problem in the relationship. So often employees think, well, this is going to go away, it can't be a big deal, and then they wait too long because this familiarity breeds something beyond what they can handle or what they should have to handle. So they need to feel comfortable coming to you in the first place and saying, look, I feel uncomfortable with what's going on here, can you provide me some assistance? And in that regard, you need to make it clear to them that there will be no retaliation or recrimination, so that they need not fear interaction with their supervisor, for instance, thereafter. And to the extent that they feel any adverse treatment because they've come to you, they need to understand that you're going to rectify that situation in their best interests. So at the end of the day, it's important from both the employee's perspective and the employer's perspective to let employees know that there is this line of professionalism that we're going to follow in our workplace so that we can avoid uncomfortable working situations as well as defend ourselves against charges and lawsuits that might flow from harassment complaints. Thank you.